Hello and welcome to another tutorial where we're still discussing PHP, and for today's lesson we're going to talk about AJAX, which is the art of exchanging data with a server and updating parts of a web page without reloading the web page. And go ahead and create a index.html in your htdocs, and I already have my little code prepared. So basically what I've done here is I've made 3 input tags. In the first one it's login, the second one is a password field, and the third one is a button. Now this placeholder attribute, I believe we've talked about it before. Placeholder specifies a short hint that describes the expected value of an input field. Now if we save and refresh, I'm gonna get my login, password and button. Now what we're gonna do is we're going to add our jQuery library, which you can find in code.jquery.com. Go ahead and insert it in. We can now get rid of this. We're also going to make a div with the class status. Now let's go ahead and write jQuery code. I already have it pre-prepared, so this is the code that I have for jQuery. First of all, I've made a document ready and I've opened a function, and then in the case of a click on send, we'll get 2 variables, log and pass, and through alert we'll display log and pass. Now as you see, I've already written login and password here. Now let's save once more. Let me just do it just so you can see login and password. Now if I click on send, I'm going to get my alert which says login and password. So one more thing that I haven't mentioned is that if you see, we haven't made a form tag here. This is because AJAX doesn't need a form tag. So we're going to basically be using AJAX, and it opens up for a synchronous JavaScript and XML. What we're going to do is we're also going to comment on our alert and start our code. Now what we're going to write is a $, a dot and post, which is an AJAX method, and it can be used in jQuery, and it's going to be needing 3 arguments. In the first one we need to set where we want it to be sent. So in the first one I'm going to write a file name, post.php. I'm going to put a comma, and we need to write which of the variables we want sent. Now I'm going to create curly braces inside of my post, and I'm going to make a variable like log var, which is login variable, and we want to get the log variable itself, so we're just going to write log. We're going to put a comma, and we're going to make one for password as well, so pass var, which is password variable, and we want the pass variable itself. And in our third argument we need to write the function, which needs to happen after sending our details. So go ahead and type in function. We're gonna get it through results, and we're not gonna put anything inside just yet. Let's save this, let's refresh, and now we're gonna go ahead and open up our post PHP in Notepad, and we're gonna write our PHP code right here. So we're gonna create another 2 new variables like LP for example, and we're doing this all through the post method. So we're going to type in post, then in square brackets we're going to write our log var like so, and we also need to do the same thing for password as well. Then let's check it through if. So if our LP equals Simon, and also we're going to put an ampersand. If PP also equals 1 to 6, then through echo let's display correct entry, and let's also make an else, so the opposite, and through echo let's type in incorrect details or information, whatever you want to write in. So this code needs to be put somewhere or shown somewhere, which we're going to do through our result. We can display our result variable through our status class div. Now I'm going to make a status right here like so, then .html, and I'm going to write my result variable like so. Let's go ahead and save, also save this, and now let's refresh. If I go ahead and type in something like this, and if I click on send, I'm going to get incorrect details. However, if I go ahead and type in Simon and my password 1 from 6, I'm going to get correct entry. We can do the same exact thing with the get method. However, we need to change this to request, do the same here as well, and we need to change the AJAX post method, which is here, with get. Let's save, fresh. We see that everything works fine. Now let's put brackets for our request codes, and let's go ahead and type in strip slashes, which we'll do for both. And it's basically a function which removes backslashes added by the add slashes function, and this function can be used to clean up data retrieved from a database or from an HTML form. And also let's display our LP and our PP variables for both if and else. And just for you to see the difference, let's get rid of strip slashes for login and let's save. So after refreshing, let's go ahead and type in it's neat for both of our fields, and when I click on send, I'm going to get incorrect details. I'm going to get it's neat, so the one in login with the backslash, and for my password field I'll get it without backslash. So slashes are kind of dangerous and they could break codes, so on, so it's important to keep strip slashes. Now to move on, let's go ahead and comment on this code right here. Now let's discuss the next AJAX method, or which is exactly .ajax, and what we're going to do is we're going to open curly braces like so. Let's add in the type, which specifies the type of request, in which we'll add the value post, which is the post method. Let's also go ahead and add in URL, which we will link to our post.php file, and let's add a cache, make it false as the default value is true. So by setting the cache property to false, jQuery will append a timestamp to the URL, so the browser won't cache it, as the URL is unique to every request, as we know. We also need to add a error, for which we'll open up a function with details as the argument, and inside of it we'll add a alert in case of any problems where we'll get wrong, and we need to add in our details dot status to get the status of our details. Basically it's self-explanatory, and we need to add in status text, where we'll write details dot status text. And next let's write code for when everything is fine. Now I'm going to go ahead and type in data, and this is going to be a little different. I'm going to write my log variable, which will equal and a plus to my log variable. Then there's my password variable, which is the pass variable, and you also need to write success. And what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to make a function, and it's not going to have a name, just an argument like results, and inside we need to write where we want it. So let's write it in our div with the class of status, so that is dot status. Now we're going to write HTML and our results. Now a few mistakes that I made. We need to put a comma here and a comma here, like so, and also let's put a ampersand symbol right here to be able to sort of edit both of our pass variable and log variable. Now let's delete these variables, as we know that everything is actually working fine. Now when we save and refresh, write our assignment and 1 from 6, and we click on send, we're going to get correct entry. And some good things about AJAX is that it's literally not refreshing by itself. We work in index.html and we don't need to be in post.php, and the result of post.php comes in our div, which is correct entry in this case. Now let's try AJAX with a link. So let's put this AJAX code in a function like so. Let's bring this down here. Now let's go ahead and get rid of our button and instead type in an href with a empty value. Let's also add in the ID, which will be send, and let's write check, close our a tag. Also let's give our function a name, so AJAX test, like so. Now let's go ahead and save this, refresh. I'm going to get my check highlighted here as it's a link. When we type and click on check, we get correct entry as everything works fine. So that is all that I had prepared for today's lesson. Thank you so much for watching.